Yeah, because it's Ace Attorney time. It's the Ace of the Attorney. The guy died.
Yeah.
His friend died. Friend's gone.
Rip Bozo.
Saw a speckled snake. Then also saw the ground. Oh no, we're on London 5th.
Uh-oh.
It begins.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder.
This is totally
in a
his voice,
carriage
isn't it?
As it sped through dense London fog in the
Might
dead
be.
of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes,
Nope.
once said of the incident,
Oh, this is... Oh, okay. This
I
is...
believe that perhaps
Watson.
that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto
Maybe that was him.
impressive Japanese
Yeah, I think it
student
is.
and I were to play together.
Okay, well that didn't tell me much.
Not really, no.
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Is that his voice?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
Oh no, it's called London.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
So I see we're not worried about the language barrier anymore.
Supreme Court in Whitehall.
I think they can speak English.
But that was a problem in the fucking first case.
Yeah, they've been on the boat for a little bit. 3 months, I think they said. So
Thought so.
I don't
40
yeah,
days.
maybe. I mean, I'm just gonna choose not to worry about it, but I think that probably didn't
To the centre
like
of
learn
London,
English in that
Great
time.
Britain's mighty capital, London.
I think in the first case, and then like from that time to the boat, he picked up English more. Like he could like speak English a little bit, but he couldn't read it. 18th of February, 9 in the morning. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. What an incredible place.
It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating.
This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress.
There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've only been built in the few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? A far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from.
I feel like this room would be impeccably loud with like the cranking gears.
Yeah.
It's certainly unfamiliar. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. What is this place again?
This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain.
The Lord Chief Justice's office.
We had instructions to report here at this time. If circumstances were different, we were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan.
But Kazuma can't.
No. So instead, we are here in a different capacity, as envoys to report the news of Kazama-sama's death.
Yeah.
And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done.
So we'd have to return to Japan.
If we want to remain here in Great Britain,
I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour.
yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer.
Am I going to be referred to as Kazuma for the rest of the series? Which is
Probably
what
not.
I've been studying for.
Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London.
I hope I'm up to scratch. Oh boy, let's take a guess. Good morning. Sorry to keep you. Yeah, that's a pretty fitting voice.
Yeah.
It's Dragonator Man. Oh.
I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. It seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies.
Oh, no, don't mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do.
How fortunate. So, introductions. I am Mel Strongart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire.
I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot.
Come on, Mr. Naruhodo, don't be a mouse.
Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Well, here we are. I can't examine the room. Alright, let's take a peek. If he'll let me. Look at these menacing metal giants facing each other across the room.
I believe they're suits of armor.
Oh, right. I thought maybe they were like the lion dogs we have in Japan guarding shrine gates.
No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know. And they roam around in the middle of the night.
Oh, really? Is there nothing you don't know, Miss Susato?
This book tells me everything I need to know about everything. If you're ever unsure, just ask.
Where did she even get that incredible tome? Just look at all these naughty books packed together on these shelves. They go from floor to ceiling.
And they're all books that you couldn't hope to come by in Japan. It's like a dream.
Yeah, a very bad dream.
They're not all about British law either. There are books about the judicial systems of other Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Holland.
What about Russia?
Why do you ask?
Well, you know, I was wondering about whether the Lord Chief Justice, how you say wardrobe in Russian. What do you think?
I think perhaps it's a thought best abandoned.
Is this some kind of clock?
Actually, I think we might be inside some sort of giant clock. But those gears are larger than anything you'd find on a steam locomotive even.
It's, eerie. Do you think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? The Lord Chief Justice, I mean?
Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around with machines, don't they?
I'm not sure you could fiddle with cogs that size, and I'm certain you couldn't call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise the cogs make, considering how large they are. Oh. There's actually something quite soothing about their precise rhythm. Take the seat.
This must be the Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble.
Looks more like an over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over to me.
I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Naruhodo.
Feels like everything that's normally made of wood and paper at home is made of bricks and stone here.
I know. That's why this place feels so overbearing, I'm sure.
I think it's the enormous red carpet, personally.
Yeah, that too.
And also the gears. Alright, I think that's the room. Okie dokie. Surprised it didn't have anything to say about the carpet. Oh, I have an armband now.
Aw.
Look at this. Lord Strongheart, may I show you this?
To accept this item, issue a receipt, examine it thoroughly, and make a formal statement of my findings. It would require something in the region of 24 seconds of my time.
Sorry?
Does the item warrant 24 seconds of my time, Mr. Naruhodo?
No, let's leave for now. So what about London?
So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London?
Oh, well, help. I've been so nervous since I got here. I can't remember a single thing about the city.
It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo?
No.
We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say, I'm almost lost for words.
I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water, and gas. Even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded.
So are you just gonna, like, keep jerking off, or can we talk about the lawyer shit?
No.
Oh yes, astounded is the word.
I have at least another 5 minutes.
Thanks for saving me there, Susato.
And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor.
Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we'll be hosting here in London.
Great exhibition.
This is my beating stick. Culture and technological advancements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history. It will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop.
Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be.
Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world.
Even if you do say so yourself.
The sun will never set on our great empire. What's World War I? Perhaps it is fate that these progressive times we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun.
Lord Chief Justice, I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you?
Absolutely. Mr. Kazuma Asogi, if my memory serves.
That's right.
The British government has already telegraphed a full report of the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores.
It's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived.
My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours.
Oh, thank you.
And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of this news?
Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person.
They tell me you Japanese are people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that that's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lord means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed.
If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart.
What do you have to say, madam?
It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal.
Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo.
This is it then, the moment of truth. Let's talk about London. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you could consider allowing the study tour to go on ahead anyway.
Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead, but without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done.
Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean.
Is there something I don't know? Well, only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country, and that was Mr. Asogi. At least that's what I've been led to understand.
Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man.
Mr. Naruhodo!
I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I gonna say? There's someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer. It's me. I can do it.
Is that so?
I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but...
No qualifications, you say? And yet you still claim to be a lawyer?
I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. And I had Kazuma to help me. And I was the accused. But glossing over the details. I've been spending every spare moment of the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Buria.
The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become qualified lawyers here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training.
I've realized it's far too short a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Asogi's journey had only just begun. Coming here on this study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to take of me. Just one chance. That's all I'm asking for. Please.
31 seconds.
Sorry?
Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo. It was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in great stead as a lawyer.
Oh, thanks.
So, you're willing to put these words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment.
Huh?
But let me ask you one thing first, sir.
Yeah?
You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path?
Well, yeah, that's my intention.
I see.
Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden?
Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. The test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you.
Really? What be test? So, what form will the test take exactly?
Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what you consider the role of a lawyer to be.
Well, defending people, of course.
Well said. So, let's have you defend someone.
Huh?
Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense yet, so this will be welcome news.
Today?
Straight away.
If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler?
Yeah, how do I get myself in these situations?
Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart?
Kangaroo court. Yes, good question. Ah, I remember. It's a murder trial.
A murder?
An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose.
Well, that's easy to say.
But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, He will, of course, be sentenced to capital punishment.
Capital punishment? He'll be put to death?
Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably you read that much in your short sea-based introduction to British law.
We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life. Oh, whoever the gender of the person is, how would I know that?
I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable.
Let me make sure. Maybe he might have mentioned it, actually.
Definitely didn't. Oh, no,
he will, of course,
forget.
be sentenced to capital punishment, yeah.
I'm the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable.
But you can't do that, can you?
There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose.
So the defendant may live or die depending on how well I perform in court. If I lose, he'll be hanged.
Mr. Naruhodo, you come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi. Well, I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen.
He's testing my resolve.
What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it going to be?
What the hell do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? Yeah, I'll do it. Alright then. If I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it. I can't get the words out.
15 seconds. Your decision-making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. So, it's as if I suspected, is it?
Sorry?
You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for passage past these tomorrow. This conversation is over.
Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance.
Mr. Naruhodo.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Atto. What could I do?
It's alright. I understand.
You do?
It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it.
What are you trying to say, madam?
I think what Miss Susato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable. And I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his client in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice.
Wait, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, was there something else?
It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time.
But I just said...
I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him.
What?
At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense.
No appointment. It won't be delayed. He's not guaranteed an appointment. He's just fucked.
Hey, I mean, you know, greatest empire, right?
If that happens, there's only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down.
But that's awful.
But that is the truth.
Hey, you're the Chief Justice, asshole. Maybe do something about that. Why does it have to be like this?
How long would it take to fix this?
I don't know, like a couple weeks, maybe a month.
Don't know if I can pencil that in. Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there's only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. Me. And I guess you. But I don't want to do it. Have fun.
I'm really his only hope.
So, what do you say now, madam?
Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve.
Oh.
Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend.
I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves for exactly 20 minutes. Because you got a trial to go to. Later, Bingus.
He's gone.
The Old Bailey.
If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once.
Okay. Well, it's time to leave at once then. Hey, hold up. Look at this. No, not this. Hold up. Mrs. Otto, can I just ask you something?
Careful. From this position, I can perform a Susato takedown in an instant.
I know.
Mr. Naruhodo, you heard Lord Strongheart. The trial starts imminently. If I need to throw you, I will.
You know, you could just say, I think we should hurry to the courtroom.
If you need to ask me anything, it had better wait until we're at the Old Bailey.
Oof. Getting the throw risks thrown at me. We are on this one. Technically. Alright. Time to schmoove. To the Old Bailey.
Enjoy Great Britain. You'll be seeing none of it.
Mr. Naruhodo, their helmets look like penises.
Oh, thank goodness we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins.
I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were gonna rattle loose.
Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from the Herlock Sholmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly.
I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die, and we have to pay gold for the privilege.
Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started.
Yeah, I suppose there's that.
Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all.
Am I walking in without evidence?
Yeah. What do you mean it's case 3?
So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants is to wait isn't. Oh my goodness. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yeah, just had a mini stroke. I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place kind of gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air. Almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. Feels like only yesterday I was the only one about to be crushed.
Yes, whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment.
This is a line.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
I'm assuming this is the defendant?
yeah.
And I think I'm probably going to do the lawyer, or
Yeah.
the prosecutor.
Top of the morning to you, madam. Sir. Oh my goodness.
To Willy Wonka.
What you's doing following me here? Things are fair desperate, are they? Sorry? Would you look at those expressionless faces? From the east, are yous? Well, we're from Japan, yeah. Ah, Japan is it? Right, say no more. So, how much do yous need? Oh, no, we're just here because... Does he have the same rings as the guy from Game 1, Trial 2? No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name. And all while in a strange, faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand. 'Tis grand. Let me start by giving yous 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now.
1,000 guineas?
Please, Miss Susato, you don't have to shout.
But we don't have that many cages. But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo.
What? There's nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I've enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over.
How can this guy not get a lawyer if he has that much money?
Would that much rain fall, even fall in one day? Well, even so, he couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. My face. Ah! That hit me in the eye. Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, 'tis a little embarrassing. The trial is about to begin, you see. It's from me good self here. I'll be in the dock. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'll be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is, don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial's going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it up.
I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial?
Bluster and blazes. Do yous not know who I am? Me? One of London's biggest names? No, sorry, we've really only just arrived in the city very shortly, you see. I see. Suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just now next to Hyde Park there in the center of London is another beautiful park. Sorry? Park? What? Tis called McGilded Park. Full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did.
An entire park in central London?
A city of smiles, that's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its square old people. That's, amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. Ah, but now they've the gall to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What in the matters with this London police, I ask you? Hi. All right, don't pass out.
Mr. Naruhodo,
I hate him.
perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath.
Good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to pull yourself in our hands, we'll do our best.
Well, what was I saying, you daft idiot? I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I?
Well, yeah, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you.
Well, I think I see what's going on here.
Sorry?
I know what you're thinking. This chancer of a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England?
Or any bum off the street?
Because he did it! That's the only explanation.
Well? What? Not at all? Not at all! Although it is a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean.
That would be the fault of the Reaper.
Sorry? Did he just say Reaper?
Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Barak von Zeeks.
He's the prosecutor.
The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper?
When von Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned.
What?
So it's reached the desperate situation, where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey.
Goodness. Lord Barak von Zeeks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor, then.
Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed.
Cursed? What on earth?
The defendant is summoned, and his counsel. Please make your way to the courtroom. Trial's about to begin.
His counsel? That would be me.
Oh, tis time. Well then, fella, don't let me down.
But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened.
Until you showed your face here. I'd made up my mind, so I had.
Sorry?
I decided I'd have to defend myself in there.
How would that have really worked?
But then you made an appearance. Student of law, wouldn't you know?
It's no accident, I can assure you that. His fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. I literally know nothing about the case, or about the man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him, for some reason. He's fabulously wealthy. Surely he's done something right to get here.
Yeah, totally. Mr. Naruhodo.
That's me. The man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom with nothing to defend himself. Yeah. Something that Cosmo would never have allowed to happen.
Counsel for the defense, what you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you'll lose your right to stand.
I'll be right there. It's happening. My first trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. There goes my little disaster onto his first court trial. 18th of February, 10 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. With the fucking braziers of literal fire.
That's a good sign.
And 5 judges. I was right. 6 judges.
Hey, you want to try? You want to try? Got it. Yeah.
So this is the highest court in Great Britain. The Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan. Also, very glad that it's not just 6 wrinkly old men in wigs.
Yeah. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. Well, may I say something, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, yeah, what?
Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again.
I know, but I just can't help it. We have so many judges to voice now.
That's true. I think it's a judge and a jury.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Do you want to do the judge?
I think I'll do the prosecutor and then maybe like the first witness.
Sure. That's a risk. We don't know what they look like.
Yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily about, I don't know.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare the court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsel for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is fully prepared.
That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld.
Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English?
Sir, you're not allowed to say that.
What? Oh, sorry. You appear to be... What's the O word?
You're definitely not allowed to say that, sir.
Korean?
Sir, stop!
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course, sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready. And I couldn't be further from ready if I tried.
Those eyes please me. Nipponese. They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation.
Oh, that's funny. He said Nipponese, so, like, Nippon is the country of Japan. So he probably doesn't know it's just Japanese.
They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb.
Cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the back of the tips of my toes.
To the backs of the tips of the toes.
What did he say there? Down my spine all the way to... Okay, yeah.
Now, Mr. Gilded,
Yes, my lord.
you stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this, foreigner?
Bro, you can't say that!
Oh no, this judge. As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young, even if the fella's a student from some little island off in the Far East. It is not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance.
You're right, that is not the British way.
I'd like to make it the British way, because I have a lot of money.
Oh, I'm sure that'll work. 100 years from now.
Definitely. I'd like to thank the acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Listen, Mr. Gilded, what a fine gentleman London has in him. Did you hear they donated £5,000 to the government the other day? Mother, please maybe go play in the park.
It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded.
That's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him.
Eloquently put, Mr. Gilded, and most laudable sentiments.
I know it's McGilded, but...
Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed?
3 gents, 3 ladies.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, we have to pick now.
You, me. Wait, I think that might just be straight down the gender ratio.
Yeah,
Okay, then...
You, me, you. Or me, you, me, you, me. Or something like that.
I can't, like, I can't,
I'll just take this guy.
Yes, my lord. If the task is to send rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready.
At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree.
You can take this one,
Ah,
unfortunately.
any criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me.
Yeah, that's a good one. Come on! Okay, so I don't know if she's even going to speak, which is really funny. Okay, so I took the first guy, so her. Then I guess I'll take this one, you can take the grandma.
Sure. Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Let's finish these mitts for my grandson.
I think half of this jury is drunk.
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, those people are...
The jury, yeah. That's something we don't have in Japan yet.
And won't.
In the future.
That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors.
It's like she's doing the court record for the... But she's a juror. What is she doing?
Yeah. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view.
But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict?
That I don't know, but... I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses.
Remember how fucking pissed off that guy got in Apollo Justice because he learned that it was going to be, like, an appeal to, like, not a judge, but to, like, a court? Like a jury?
Yeah.
He was so mad.
Yeah.
Prosecutor Von Zeeks,
My lord.
it's become a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you'd renounced your fame.
I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity.
So, what brings you back? Is there some chance or change in circumstances in which the court should be aware?
I leave that to your imagination, my lord.
So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. I'm a shoo-in. Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback?
Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo.
Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm rooting for you.
Judge, you're supposed to be impartial.
You cannot do that, my lord.
Oh, as you wish. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statement, I think. Summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity.
We must be the only ones here who aren't even aware.
The incident took place in the late evening, 3 days past. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason.
Sorry? Thrice?
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. The victim's corpse was discovered.
The victim's corpse
Ah,
was
that's
discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard.
Thank you, counsel. I accept that and the photograph as evidence.
Cool. Cool.
And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well.
And these are... Good Lord, is that blood, Counsel?
Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested.
Huh? Mr. McGilded gloves had blood on them?
Yes, I will accept this as evidence as well.
Okay then. How did I get into this? I'm backed into a corner before I've even started.
Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time.
Only 2, huh?
Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded.
Well, that's rather damning circumstances, to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilded! To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Gluten, so it is. And when I opened my eyes again, 'twas a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I'd never laid eyes before in my life. Now I ask yous, a good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a little fella bleeding from his stomach. I wasn't about to start worrying about my gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. So the blood got onto the gloves then after the man had been killed.
Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning.
Huh? Wait, that's not all of it?
There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed.
Multiple witnesses. That's a rare sound that you never want to hear. Good. That's great.
Order. Oh, wait, sorry. Order. I almost started young for a second.
When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage. And there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused.
Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all.
Your wish is my command. Bailiff! Bring the witnesses in at once.
I'm trying to contain my feelings. My goodness.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of people.
Witnesses, your names and occupations.
My name is, well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End.
Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city. Do you want to do first? You said you'd do the first one.
I did the first one.
Yeah, well, here's the first.
God.
Oh, they're also a lady.
Not yet. I'll give it 5 years.
Lady first.
My name's First. Lady First. I make hats for gents.
Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Quite right.
Yes, sir, that's right, sir.
Very well, then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
What the witnesses saw.
It was last bus of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember as well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then, out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed, I did. I couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too.
Unambiguous testimony, I must say.
Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes.
I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel?
Well, the testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Why not?
Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it?
As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes.
Well, in that case, how could these two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage.
How quaint. I'd read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses?
Buddy, I've been here for an hour. Huh? I haven't even gone to the bathroom yet.
Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus?
Well, no. We, only arrived in London this morning.
No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves, the actual scene of the crime, that is.
What do you mean by that? The actual scene? What? How?
I have this little device called a little thief.
I also have this little girl called, what's her name? Kay Faraday. Here she is.
A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably, you understand that much.
Yeah?
The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today, in this very building.
Edgeworth, is this a picture of your ancestor? Yes. Is he a fucking vampire? Stop saying that. Here? What? The entire carriage?
Bailiff! Bring forth the stricken omnibus.
It's probably a good thing that you're voicing him. My bailiffs would be very loud. What the? Oh my god, okay.
Was not kidding.
So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing.
As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers.
It's the omni part.
4 passengers seated inside in the enclosed cabin, and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above.
Allowing a view of the back row's shoes. Ah, a skylight. Oh.
The penny drops at last, I see.
These two gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight.
Huh. Well, that makes perfect sense.
No, Consul, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom.
There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish.
The whole damn thing. Very well. I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
Sir, the omnibus. We need it to testify. I can't believe it. The entire crime scene itself entered as evidence.
Yes, Great Britain is simply extraordinary.
I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here.
Let's do that.
Let us continue with proceedings, then. Your cross-examination, counsel.
Or not.
Huh? Wait, sorry, what? Did I fuck
I
up?
was like, well, I said let's do that, because he said I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination.
Oh.
So let's do that.
Okay, yeah. Let's give it a thorough examination.
Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we?
The scene of a murder. It's horrible. Or I thought they brought the dead body too. That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victim, obviously.
Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck.
Would you really stab somebody in full view of the other passengers like that, I wonder?
Well, it was after dark, and there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight.
Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack.
You'd probably rotate around it, I imagine.
Probably. Yeah. No pets allowed. Oh, there's a poster for the Great Exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition.
I bet there's going to be a murder in that Crystal Tower. Ooh, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event.
It's going to be like a double murder. There's a little thingy down there. This seat has a handle, it seems. Ooh.
Someone could have hidden there.
This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running.
Feeding tubs, tools to repair wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. So it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep things, it seems.
Oh, it's not for the people, it's for the... Okay.
Yeah, but someone could have hidden there.
Yeah. There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to stow their luggage, that's for sure.
Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway.
Is there anything else I can see? It doesn't mark it as checked. Yeah, okay. You just have to accept
Looks like... Yeah.
Is that the same thing? Yes.
Oh. That's a weird quirk then. So that's what we were supposed to be talking about, but the notice also calls that dialogue.
I think it's because the notice is literally the text for what, like, the tower itself is.
I feel like... I don't know. My gut is that they fucked up and that notice is... I'm going to say up there.
It's Crystal Tower, and it's the notice about what it is.
Yeah,
Unless
I only saw
maybe
the
the
notice
notice itself is different, but I don't think it is.
You think it... I think it is supposed to be different, it just doesn't have dialogue.
No.
Because notice imply... Like, I feel like that implies it's like the rules for the, you know, like no smoking or whatever.
Yeah.
That kind of shit. Anyways...
I think that's everything inside the cabin.
It's really not much. Have you seen enough? Let's step back outside then.
I want to see if we can climb up.
You probably rotate, yeah, completely all around it.
Rotate. Nothing, nothing. We can make this thing testify.
Yeah, totally. Phoenix right.
What do you mean,
omnibus?
Phoenix right omnibus?
What do you mean?
What does that mean? I thought Naruhodo would... Wait. I'm confused
It's
now.
not. Well, it's not. It's not supposed to be his. I think it's just a cheeky reference.
Okay. There's the skylight. Mr. Naruhodo, how are you flying up there? To get like a look. How are you doing this? You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure.
Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly.
That's not really good for us, is it? Seats.
So this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets from up here.
So people sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights with the cold air rushing past them? And they have to pay money to do so?
I can't imagine how cold it must feel.
That just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in the freezing cold as punishment? Perhaps
that is the real price you pay to stay out late. There's like something on the seat backs. Can you rotate so that we can see what that is?
You want to rotate it to
Other
the
way.
back? Oh,
Other way. What does that say? Job Masters? London head office?
Oh. The roof deck. Oh, okay. Oh, same thing.
Oh, and is that where the writer sits? Or
Yes.
Yeah, it must be.
Has to endure the cold. No wonder they're so cold looking. Okay. That's the whole omnibus, I think.
Yeah, so despite having the scene of the crime, there is absolutely nothing amiss. Okay, sure.
It just sort of tells you how the omnibus functions.
Yeah.
And also we learned that there was, like, the undercarriage part.
Can you look under it? No.
Mr. Naruhodo lift. Nope. That's it.
Okay. We can check. Can we check these?
Yes. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London.
Well, nothing will come of grumbling now.
No. By the way, is Mr. McGilded right-handed?
Yes, I believe so. He was toying with a coin in his right hand a little earlier.
Oh, pity. If only he'd been left-handed.
I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really.
Also, this is 1800/1900s. You're not allowed to be left-handed.
Yeah.
You'll be whipped.
Oh, you get a little magnifying glass. Cute.
Don't really get to say anything.
Okay. I mean, it is... no, yeah. Seems pretty standard.
Yeah, how's the autopsy report look?
Stabbed once in the abdomen with a knife while journeying on the omnibus, died due to internal hemorrhaging resulting from the trauma. Yeah, sure. Hard to argue against that.
Would have been funny if he was thrice stabbed. 10 p.m. to 11. Okay. Yep. All that is fine. And that's it. That's what I have to deal with.
Pray don't expect this Nipponese stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights.
All right. My first cross-examination in a British court. Focus, Ryunosuke. Focus. Okay. what the witnesses saw. I probably have to appeal to all the judges. I think that's like a mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe they're just there for flavor. I don't actually know if there's a whole mechanic. There probably is a mechanic tied to it.
Yeah, probably. It was the last rush of the evening, so I had few customers. I remember it well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then, out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed I did. Couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too.
Alright. So when it happened, the only two people in the enclosed cabin area were the victim and the defendant. And so help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend do the deed.
I don't like to be pessimistic, but we do seem to be in a rather difficult situation here.
What am I supposed to think here? Mr. McGilded really innocent? Or could it be?
But before we jump to conclusions, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case much better than we do at the moment.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to those witness statements again, a little more carefully this time. Okay. Let's get started. Yeah, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. That's right, sir. Yes. Ever so cold it was, sir, for freezing effect.
So you gotta check, like, everyone's reactions on each line.
When they react, then yeah, I can check the reactions. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct?
Yes, that's right,
Oh,
sir.
shit,
So, like,
here
you
we
should
go.
scroll over to
So
see
it's
D.
D? Okay.
I don't know if...
These are all normal.
Okay, I haven't seen him. He's doing... Okay, has he been doing that? Okay.
Yes, that's right, sir. Not all.
Oh, sorry.
Not all traveling in the same part of the bus, of course, though, no.
There were no other passengers when the incident took place. No one alighted, for example.
You're quite right with that, sir. No other passengers like that. No, none.
Yep, normal. So nobody fled the scene of the crime then?
To say the boss insists on it running, he does, every evening, the last bus of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, so sorry to say.
Nothing.
Wait. Okay, maybe... Sorry, no, go back. There's proceed next line, it's fine.
Okay.
We might be able to still check. Check the guy on the far right. See, he's not... Okay, I swear on the last one he wasn't
I'm pretty
doing
sure
his
he
hat.
was.
I could have sworn he wasn't. Whatever.
We'll
Well,
check
what with
again.
it being so cold and everything, and only making 20 pence on the run, you see. Yes, I spent that much at the pub on the way home, just trying to warm up again.
Yeah, I don't think they'd react to this. This is just like him spouting off.
No, but the last line,
Alright.
I thought it was different. I mean, we don't have to check. That's...
I could check if you really want. I can...
I don't.
Ow. Well,
Okay, well, we didn't check this one, so check on this one.
I mean, yeah, it was
Okay.
cold.
See, look, he's... Okay, no, he did it there. Maybe... You know what it is? You know that thing where, like, you look at a clock, and then it looks like the current second is, like, 3 times as long?
Yeah.
That's probably what's happening.
Yeah, that's an evolutionary trait. It's so that,
Yeah.
like, we can, like, snap our eyes to something, focus on it, and, like, get a clean shot in on it.
Yeah.
This is the line. And he is just tipping the rim of his
Okay.
hat again. Yeah.
Okay. I actually think it was the line after, but again, I don't think it's. I don't think it matters.
Right.
I think it would be much more obvious than somebody not adjusting their hat.
Yeah. I think that would be an obvious tell, but he'd probably do something more than just tipping his hat.
Hold it!
And you saw them through the skylight of the roof of the carriage.
That's right. When you sit up on top deck, the window's right there at your feet.
Okay, normal.
There was a lamp on inside, so I had a pretty good view. The two of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. There's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGilded.
How can you be so sure?
Well, how can I put it politely? McGilded is a gentleman of rather short stature.
Okay.
I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside that enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There was no room for doubt here.
I really wish there was. And out of the blue...
Hold it!
You actually saw the exact moment it happened?
Didn't I already testify that? Or are you fair dinkum? Hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to say that. This is no good. I've really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail, if that's...
My lord! I forgot his voice, whatever.
Juror number 3.
Oh, well, uh-oh.
Juror number 3, what's the meaning of this?
My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up.
Made up about what?
I don't like the stinking rich. Never have.
Based?
They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them.
Based?
And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception.
Not
well,
based.
he can't fool me.
What the fuck? Okay.
There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter, anyway.
Wonderful.
That is precisely what I was about to say. As the foreman of the jury, it is my duty to set a good example for my fellow jurors.
They are impeccably well aimed. What the... What is happening here? This is like X Factor.
Let me see. Ah, yes, it seems like it's like X Factor. That's how the members of the jury give their verdicts.
With fire.
Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty.
Also, I don't think the show's called X... Is it called X Factor? No, that's... No, I'm thinking of Fear Factor.
You're
X Factor
thinking of...
is the show where they, like, turn their chairs around or hit X or whatever the fuck.
Are you thinking of, like...
It's
American
like one of
Idol,
those-
America's Got Talent?
It's one of those Idol shows, and they
Yeah, I
turn
think
their
it's
chair
American
around.
Idol.
Okay.
Oh,
Is
I
that
don't know
what
about the chair. I know that the X is... Yeah, I don't know. One of those.
Yeah.
Whatever. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago.
So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean...
Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen.
I'm even more worried than I was before.
Very well. The court acknowledges the change in the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
Huh. This is a nightmare.
Also, that juror, like, admitted to bias.
Yeah, no, they absolutely did, yes. they sure as hell did. Okay.
Hold it!
He stabbed him, you say? And you were sitting up there on the roof deck, were you?
Yeah, wait, hold on. Yes, hold on, I have to remember the voice, hold on.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I'd been thinking about a new hat design, you see, so I was just gazing absent-mindedly around.
Okay.
But then I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right out from his belly, that huge great knife.
A grim sight indeed.
Ah, that didn't help me at all. The jury looks like they're even more convinced my client did it than they were before.
That appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. McGilded is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions.
Mr. First. Yes, sir? Is this the knife you saw? Oh, good grief, yes, that's it, the very one, sir.
But is that the...
Yes, Counsel, this is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart.
That is the blade of considerable size, Counsel. Or it is a blade of considerable size, I should know.
It is, and furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar.
Minecraft Steve?
M, for Magnus, perhaps, or McGilded, possibly. Take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake.
Yeah.
Objection!
But there are M's everywhere. Like, yes. Like in Mason.
Objection!
This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No, this weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused.
Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, Counsel.
Yay.
My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption.
Juror number 2. Go on. The normal one.
Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However, those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Wait, what do you...
Dispose of the rubbish!
Epic. No.
I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime.
I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion. Fuck off.
Wonderful. Not again.
That's 4 out of 6 jury members who've proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left.
We've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse.
Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark.
Or we ask Mr. McGilded to give them each a bribe of 1,500 gerbils.
Mr. Naruhodo, fucking no. What? No.
I suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses story that more sparks may well fly.
We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back.
But... alright, I'll keep trying. I I can't give up. I just need to keep calm and listen to the witness's statement again. Alright.
Can you check the murder weapon evidence that you just got?
I sure can check the murder weapon evidence as soon as I save, just in case this is a situation where if I keep pressing, I get a game over. But, yes. Let's check out that evidence. In the present. Okay.
That part's the sheath, isn't it?
Hmm.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Huh? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just don't really like blades.
Oh. Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist.
That's not a blade. That's Kazuma's soul.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, there's no sense in delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like. Oh my. That looks like a lot of blood.
It surely is blood. The victim's.
Ugh, an Englishman's blood looks a lot like a Japanese man's blood.
Wow, it's almost like we're all fucking people, huh? Did you think it wouldn't?
Oh, sorry, I've just gotten it a lot lately. Just we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust.
Yes, I do understand.
Alright, where's this special M? That's an M. An ornate letter M. Undeniably, Mr. Magnus's gilded initial.
And it's beautifully gilded, too. It must be very valuable, I should think.
Ugh.
What is it?
Look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W. This could change everything.
A W?
Yeah. This is one of those, you know, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it.
I'm afraid I don't know at all, but what I am sure of is that this is an M.
Oh. Well, that idea was quickly quashed. Good move. Introducing Gen 5 Pokemon.
So if you check the crime scene photo, does that look like the right weapon? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can't see the M, but yeah, that sure does look like the same blade.
Okay. Then that gave us nothing.
It could also be M for Mason.
That was already something that
Yeah.
Ryunosuke brought up.
Yeah. Anyway, this is our last thing to press.
Hold it!
Hey, what exactly did you see there, bud?
Oh, well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. Yes, collapsed on the floor he was.
Nothing to say. Okay.
And by the passenger, obviously you are referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. And the other passenger had that knife in his hand, like this.
Yes.
By the other passenger, obviously you are referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilded. And then he plunged it down like this, so stabbing the other passenger in the belly.
Okay. Yeah, they're not reacting.
There aren't.
What? My lord. Wait, was I this guy? Yeah,
No, that was that one was you. That one was you.
My lord, I wish to speak. Yes, juror number 5. Do I take it that you too? As the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in here as one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, I said to myself. But now I've heard all the facts. I've heard enough now. The horse is bolted, as they say.
No, please, just keep it open wide for a little while longer. Gee up now, Silverblaze. The finish is in sight. Well, surely the grandma doesn't have enough slam strength to perfectly nail the fire, right?
Right, yeah.
Beppo is a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says.
Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir.
Also a bias. Sure. This is too unkind, sir.
Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man.
6 angry men, except it's 3 angry men, 2 angry women, and 1 nice old lady.
Madam Juror number 6. Yes, dear, what can I do for you? You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand. Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know. Then, pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning? Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park at around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. McGilded Park, it's called. The gentleman donated it to the city, you know, to put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life.
This entire jury is so biased. I think that's still the old lady.
No, I think it's just the crowd.
He is always doing wonderful things for the city.
That's right. A man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely.
Mother, maybe go to McGilded Public Library later and borrow some more books.
Oh, I like this guy. How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know what kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is?
But he bought a library. What kind of man is he?
The philanthropist, Magnus McGilded, has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly.
That's a pretty bad thing.
But where did all that wealth come from? Yo, comrade? Your client is a Sherlock, sir, and one with the very darkest of souls.
I love Dark Souls. What?
Stone the crows! Bolt the bird! McGilded lends money at extortionate rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak. I've never heard any mention of that before. Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service?
You're not saying that...
The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused Magnus McGilded. But I let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed, the final repayment date for his debts.
Good gracious. So you're telling me he threw away his chance at living, and all his money, and all of his wits, just to stab him on an omnibus? Why?
Do not worry about why.
I think that's actually a pretty... You've actually done the defense a great job, honestly. Why would you do that?
Do not worry about why. The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him. His life.
Yes, but taking lives is not really... That doesn't really help you very much. It doesn't get you ahead in the world. It's just
He was angry. I don't know, man. Christ. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilded.
I don't believe it.
If I might add something briefly.
Mrs. Sato.
You claimed that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded. But where's the evidence to support your claim?
Okay.
It's a goblet, not a chalice. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice in a court of law.
Ah, there it is. Lord Von Sieg's hallowed chalice. Yes!
Look at fangirling.
Listen, finally, one of these prosecutors is as old as I am. He's like 280 years old. Literally a vampire.
284, thank you very much.
My goodness, my breeches are wet.
How can this be considered acceptable?
But I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself.
I literally said one line.
Ah! As judicial assistant to the defense, I am simply doing my job. What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside. Oh. Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time.
A marvelous toast, Counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence. And anything else you'd like to give me? Ah, yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum.
And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense. Sheesh. Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes. Regrettably, madam, that is the modus operandi of the accused. And it's such a pretty little park, too. What a scoundrel.
Great.
Still, maybe it's all for the best.
Wait a minute. Let's think about this for a little bit more before we...
I don't stand for nonsense.
Jesus. She nailed it. Well, good job, Ryunosuke. That was it. The last juror's decision. Wow, Ryunosuke, you didn't even present a thing.
According to this encyclopedia of British law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here.
Huh. Wow, the final verdict. It's over then. Amazing.
Oh! There's a footnote, though.
A footnote. A footnote. We live on footnotes. What is it?
However, the defense...
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in this case.
Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision.
According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust that there are no objections.
Wow. Mrs. Otto, just tell me one thing.
Oh, yes?
You were in the middle of saying something before? Footnote, your encyclopedia of British law. However, the defense. What did it say next?
Oh, yes, of course. One moment.
If the defense promises that if they're pronounced guilty, they'll also die, then you're allowed to continue the trial. Oh.
When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point.
Well, the summation examination.
Objection!
A summation examination.
Oh, you heard that. Great.
From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected? Ah! Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten, and certainly no longer practiced.
Sir, you are a relic.
So you're out of luck.
Oh.
What even is it, Mr. Zato? This so-called summation examination.
Oh, one moment, and I'll read about it.
I figured it would have been right next to the footnote.
You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails. Typical Nipponese. You can't say that, man.
My goodness, this entire game.
Alright, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury.
To do what exactly?
Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decisions. And it says here that, if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed.
Make them reverse their decisions.
Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But the procedure became something of formality with no practical benefit, really, so it rather quickly fell out of use.
I wonder why.
Because it was devoid of purpose.
Huh?
Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age.
Still,
You have no self-respect.
I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
What have I got to lose? A summation examination. Our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out or admit defeat? Yeah, we got a right. The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried.
Yeah, but it's alright. So it's alright. I believe it could prove vital to this trial.
The defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination.
This is madness. No, this is London.
Foreman, are you ready? And the remainder of the jury?
I'm not, there was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see, so...
All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. And apparently we're not allowed to use racism.
Damn it. On what grounds?
You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty.
Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot here.
This is most irregular. No mention was made of this before. I don't really hold with all this justifying lark.
Thanks for being very easy to voice, juror number 4. That seems to have thrown the jurors off.
It seems none of them have experienced this before.
Alrighty then. The summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has yet attempted for years, huh? Well, just maybe, it might be the opportunity we've been looking for to turn this trial around. Do you think there's going to be a different jury every single case?
Oh god.
I mean,
Maybe.
It would make sense. It wouldn't be the same
It would make
jury.
sense. It would make sense.
So be it then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant Magnus McGilty guilty of a most serious crime.
Have fun.
Okay.
Well, there was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him.
I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. He stuck the chap next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen.
I have simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion.
You can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years.
Contradicted themselves. The scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief.
Okay. I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now.
Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they?
I'd say about 2 of them have an okay argument. Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I'll have to throw everything I can at them and use some very persuasive language.
Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works.
Huh? Thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant.
Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says.
But then...
They've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become.
Then what the hell am I supposed to do?
Oh dear, I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea of how I can make this work then?
Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your arguments.
What does that mean?
Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public.
Randomly, very, very involved members of the public.
They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together.
And that's the way to break them down, you mean?
Yes, exactly.
Dog-eat-dog world.
We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other.
I see. So it's contradictions in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination.
Oh, yes, I suppose you're right.
Find contradictions in their statements and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. Alright, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to pull this off.
Can we start proceedings, counsel? I would ask you to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal.
Yes, my lord. Yes, my liege. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal.
Well, I think we know exactly which one, where to do.
Yes, it's going to be number 2 and number 6, or 2 and number 5.
I think it was, yeah, I think so.
All right, let's give it a try. Yes, 4 passengers fares totaling 20 pence. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years. That's a 16 pence difference.
So I think you press R.
Yeah, so
Just
I
says
pit.
pit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can press all of them. That's cool. Bam.
Yep.
Those 2 statements clearly contradict each other.
They do? Explain yourself, counsel.
Me? Oh dear, what have I said?
I swear on Silver Blaze's maiden name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about.
According to the group's testimonies we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus in the night of question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pences in fares.
Quite right. I have those precise details typed neatly out here in front of me.
And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
But it is a fair and convenient single price, just the way London carriages should be operated.
But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man, why?
Well, 4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do the multiplication...
Ah! It would be 16 pence.
Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely 1 person's fare.
Damn, he's swaggy, like, leaning on the katana handle
He's
like
got that. It's Cosmo's soul.
Yeah.
1 person's fare.
Yeah! In other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible there was another passenger that we heard nothing about.
Good gracious! This can't be right. The coachmen of the guilds are good, honest men, one and all. Trustworthiness is our watchword.
The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that, if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he let his nefarious characters ride on his omnibus.
All right then. How do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end,
Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a ball of fire onto the innocent side of the set of scales.
Now, hold your horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why do you have to go and... Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo!
Gonk. Drop it back on.
Oh, this is all very irritating.
Begging your pardon, sir, I'm going to do the same.
For the love of Mike, not you as well.
For the love of Mike? What the fuck did you just say? That's not... What?
He's my favorite member of the Beach Boys. Mike Love.
Oh, right, that's me. A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Oh, really?
I'm into her, honestly.
Yeah, she's great. She's kind of a weirdo, but she's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, that's not a but, right? It's like
she's
that's
a
two
weirdo,
positives.
and that's awesome.
Yeah. I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. You did it. We can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds. We can force the trial to continue.
2 more. Actually. Oh, you have to change the majority. Okay. There is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions.
And that's where you must strike next.
So I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show them that there's another contradiction in their assertions.
Exactly. You can do it.
The vampire's just sitting over there like, I hate both of them.
Well, the judges of the scale of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavily on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination.
Summation examination sounds like a song that was cut from Schoolhouse Rock.
Mm.
No one else inside the carriage. Well, I've heard that there apparently was. Like that. Oh, they think the stab was different. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to that because I was focused on the first contradiction I noticed.
Objection!
Those 2 statements are completely contradictory.
What? Explain, counsel, post-haste.
Oh dear me, I was only knitting a jumper for my other half. What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you?
We've heard more from more than one witness. That they allegedly saw the actual movement when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3.
What? Can't you see that I'm busy here?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it?
Ah, want to test me, do you? It was like this. Struck the fellow next to him without even getting up, just like the prim banker said.
Your Honor, I would like to sit somewhere else.
Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true.
Now then, juror number 6.
Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do you for, young man?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam?
Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so.
Now don't move. Take a look at these 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor.
Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What? Bless my stitches, tomato.
What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth.
Oh. But why? Why the dickens would they lie?
I don't know that yet. But what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience?
Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me. I can't abide people telling lies.
I wonder how much the text changes if you do them first.
The scales.
I don't believe it.
Wait! Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all.
The only one using magic are you people casting fucking fireball into the sconces. Shut up. If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this?
Answer me this, Doc Jinx.
Huh? Me?
What exactly is the problem? What of it if 2 witnesses have slightly different recollection of events?
What of it?
Let's say Shylock did stab the victim as he sat next to him on the omnibus. And this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor and then the Shylock stabbed him again. And this old lady saw him do it. Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that, What?
Who are you calling a dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife to you. Who are you calling old? Why, I should take this needle to you.
They're ready to kill each other now. Good job, Mr. Naruhodo. That's exactly what the book said to do next. But could the foreman of the jury be right? Oh, wait, shit. This is the Communist Manifesto. Never mind, Renosuke. Don't do that. Or maybe do that. Let me read some more of this.
It's out of the question, I think.
Because
Because there was only one stab wound.
Yeah, there's only one stab wound. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman.
What is it, you Doc Jinx? Come on out with it.
What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question, in fact.
What? What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job? As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So, where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say the 2 witnesses saw 2 different moments of the same crime. You say that's out of the question, show me some proof.
Looks like the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutably hard evidence. As you wish.
What?
I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime, as proven by the autopsy.
So, it actually... Okay, no, it was. I was thinking it also could be the carriage because there was no blood on the floor, but yeah, this
Maybe.
worked.
But yeah, the autopsy report says.
First instinct was correct.
Yeah. This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen. Only once.
Yeah. Only once.
It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen two different times.
Alright, I concede defeat.
Where'd the knife go?
I eated it.
He's innocent. Call the case now.
That's the
Wait.
count.
That means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty.
We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. We've won!
What are you playing at, you dandy fool?
Shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me.
But we had a consensus.
I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head. I can't believe that I can't believe that the character they have animated licking a knife isn't a fucking, like, hot woman with dark circles under her eyes. Unfucking-lievable.
I think this is a Clockwork Orange reference, so, you know. They couldn't have been like, you know, the lady one to the left or the lady one to the right. Or hell, the lady two to the right.
Just the lady one to the left,
Yeah,
really.
Okay, fair enough. Please tell me he's a barber. Sweeney Todd?
Well, in a remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice.
The vampire over there is just like, this sucks. Why do we allow this?
The juror now stands as 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority amongst the jury for me to abdicate, and the trial must continue. I was really rooting for you, Mr. Vampire. I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and the witnesses to return to their places. And I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. So Lord Von Zeeks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please.
I guess he drank it off screen. Fair enough. He had a lot of free time.
Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hallowed chalice, it may seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy.
He shattered the whole fucking thing.
Lord Von Zeeks. My heart.
Or is it cold in this here place, or is it just me?
As your antiquated tome no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination.
Oh, oof.
So I honored a deathly silence and listened to the charade. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury. Well, no matter. There is nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No, and why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Bring forth the witnesses once more.
Oh no, he's even hotter.
Witnesses, I trust you heard the summation examination we have just had to endure. Oh, yes, sir, that I did, sir.
Of course I heard it.
Oh, yes, sir, I heard this.
You, sir, on the end, the coachman. I believe it's Beppo.
Yes, sir, my lord, sir.
If it transpires that in your previous testimony you were attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you'll be found guilty of perjury. You were advised to bear that in mind, sir.
BLTO,
Now then, witness, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again.
let's stop after this line, I think.
You will explain the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination. Conjunction junction, what's your function?
Next time. Yeah. I think that's a neat mechanic. I think it's a little silly that they slam their fist into the table to send fire into a chalice, but, you know, into a brazier.
It's a bit, you know, over the top, but that's fine.
Yes. I mean, it's kind of the name of the game for this series.
Yeah, totally.